I told him Lee Zeldin, a top priority. So when you buy a tractor today, you spend 50% of your time fixing the environmental impact statement garbage that's on the tractor. In fact, I buy a lot of things that having to do with farm equipment, where I own clubs and other things. And I said, give me 10-year-old equipment. Do you have any 10-year-old equipment that hasn't been used yet? And whenever they had it, I would buy it, because it was much better than the new stuff, which has so much environmental nonsense on it that it ends up costing thousands of dollars more to produce, and it doesn't work well. Too complicated. And then you'll get somebody that is a farm worker, and he's looking at heavy computerized environmental equipment, and you have where the tractor will turn off if the environmental equipment isn't working. It was an automatic turn off. It did absolutely nothing for the environment. It cost you $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a machine. And to save fuel, many of you are working over massive deposits of fuel. To save a quarter of a glass of fuel, this much, just a little bit, they'll have 2 extra computers in it that never worked. And I said to the head of John Deere, is this a good thing or a bad thing? He said, sir, you have no idea how bad it is. It's made our tractors so complicated. You need a major degree from MIT in order to turn on a tractor. We want to go back to the old way, sir. And I said, I agree with you 100%. And we are working very hard and very quickly to get rid of the horrible chains placed on tractor suppliers. That's a beautiful tractor. That's a gold tractor. Somebody had me in mind. What's that all about? That's a hell of a tractor. I'm looking at this. That's a good one, too, red, white, and blue. But somebody really hit me with that one. That's beautiful. Well, but so we are going to be, Lee, I think we can say, I know you're in the process, cutting out massive amounts of nonsense that are mandated to be put on your tractors and all of your trucks that costs you a fortune. And I know that they're going to do this, and I asked him, you got to promise me one thing. You're not going to take it in profits. You're going to lower the cost of a tractor. I want you to lower the cost, and if they don't lower the cost, you'll let me know, and I'll have to do a big number in those companies, okay? Because they're going to be able to very shortly produce a bigger, better tractor at substantially less money. It's going to be better. It's going to be a better tractor at substantially less money. It's going to be more reliable. It's not going to be turning off every 15 seconds because a computer went haywire that you don't need. You're going to have a better tractor for less money, but I want John Deere and Case and all of their great companies, Caterpillar. I want all of them. Got a lot of Caterpillars in there all over the place. I look forward to seeing them later. But I want these companies to give it to you in the form of lower tractor and equipment costs. And I think it's going to have a huge impact. And Lee, when you do this, I really want you to mandate to the companies to sell the equipment cheaper, not to get the same price and make a spread of, could be $6,000 or $7,000 a machine. So we'll work on that together, okay? Thank you very much, everybody. I think it's going to be a great thing. We're working on it very hard. So Americans love our farmers, and to make it easier for consumers to choose products raised by ranchers like Michael, we recently announced a brand new food label. It's Product of the USA. I love that. Product of the USA. We have another one called Made in the USA. That's better for a car. I like U.S. product for the USA. I hadn't heard that, but it's good. They want the USA product. When Americans see those words in grocery stores, they'll know that it was raised, harvested, and processed by the greatest farmers and ranchers anywhere on the face of the earth. You are the greatest. Nobody even close. Just like we have the greatest military, we have the greatest, most powerful military in the world by far. We have the greatest farmers also. Thanks. And thanks to your hard work and incredible productivity, we're slashing the prices of key staples for American families. The cost of cheese, butter, potatoes, and fruit, many, many other products is lower today than when I took office. Eggs are down, as an example, 60% from when I took office. And we have others coming down, and beef is starting to come down. Beef was an amazing thing. I was told by Brooke, I said, I don't really believe it. They wanted to have less cattle in the country for environmental reasons. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what that means? Can you believe it? Who would think of this? These are sick people. No, they want less cattle for environmental reasons. It has something to do with gas permeating throughout the air. And and that's what happened. And the number of cattle was way down. I said, what happened? They were mandated, they were restricted for that reason. These people are crazy. But anyway, we got rid of that one too. That was an easy one. If I said this 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, people wouldn't even believe what I'm saying. It's like men playing in women's sports. Would you believe we have an argument over that? Men playing in women's sports. Did you ever see the weightlifting record? It stood for 19 years. Women, great women athletes, they get up there. And then a man came along who happened to transition, and the record was broken by 119 pounds. And he was a bad weightlifter. It's true. He was a failed male weightlifter. He shattered the record. I would say that's not good. So we are bringing all that back to normalcy too. And look what happened at the Olympics. The Olympic Committee, the heads of the Olympics just announced there will be no men playing in women's sports. Who else could have done that? You think that was easy? That wasn't easy. That was not easy. It's probably, they say it's an 80-20. No, I think it's a 99-1 issue, and nobody can find the one. To help lower gasoline prices for farmers and consumers, this week I issued an emergency order to allow immediate sales of E15 and just as I promised in the campaign, I'm seeking congressional action to allow E15 all year round, okay? And I'm trusting Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune, they're two good men. I'm trusting them to find a deal that works for farmers, consumers, and refiners, including small and mid-sized refiners. And they're going to send me a bill, and we should be able to get that done. We've worked with the refiners before, and we're going to get that done. Today, I'm also announcing a dramatic update to the renewable fuel standards for 2026 and 2027. A big problem, what they've done to